Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322. and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded vehicles in the GTA Online boat class in terms of lap time. As always, the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right. And while this 2020 series has showcased the non-raceable vehicles first, because boat races aren't that popular, I've decided to put them all together. If the intro screen for a vehicle is in the race lobby, then it's raceable, otherwise it's not. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed, where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series. And if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles and is correct as of the Cayo Perico heist update. For any boats added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So as we see the Kasatka here in 14th place, which it was quite a surprise that this was drivable when it was added with the Cayo Perico heist. It obviously very difficult to get around the track, which is why it gets the lap time that it does, but it's not the worst thing in this list. And apart from the Tug, the very worst vehicles in the boat class are all submersibles, and especially the new Avisa as well, which is really slow. It's the worst of the three submersibles. And obviously the Tug is just, it's so slow it rivals the lawnmower. We've obviously got one of the other new vehicles here with the patrol boat, which isn't very quick either. And in general, we got 5 new boats with the Cayo Perico heist DLC, and that's what prompted me to make this 2020 version of the boats video. The previous one was in 2018, and we've also had some pretty interesting changes as well, and some of these new boats are actually quite interesting. Only one of the 5 new boats is raceable though, and we'll see that later on. But as always, I always test everything via whatever means I possibly can to make sure that every single vehicle in the game is tested and got a lap time and top speed for. So the track length, to remind everybody for this, is exactly the same length as what you see for the lap time testing, but it's almost the same layout but not quite. So the lap times are somewhat comparable with the lap time testing. It's the lap time to cover the same distance, but obviously it's not directly comparable because these are boats on water, and that's different to cars on a street, but they're generally comparable. And obviously these kind of lap times that we've seen, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, coming down to the 2 minute mark, 1 minute 40s, those are some really slow lap times. The Tug rivals the lawnmower, like I said. You've got the Sea Shark and some other vehicles in this 142 range, which are similar to sort of big bulky vans like the Journey and Camper and things like that. So boats in general are pretty slow vehicles and don't get that great when it comes to lap time. I am always pulling back on the left stick, by the way, for extra speed on these runs. And that obviously is very similar to wheelies with motorcycles. It lifts up the front end and it does allow you to get a bit of extra speed. And I'm always doing that as much as I can. And the part of the listing that we're in right now hasn't really changed all that much. These are kind of the classic boats, the classic raceable boats. When it came to boats that weren't raceable, it was really always the slow stuff, things like the Marquis. Obviously the Tug is one of the newer ones, but the weaponized dinghy here in 5th place is basically exactly the same as the regular dinghy. So the fact that it's not raceable doesn't really matter because it's just the same as a regular dinghy anyway. But yeah, this is the highest non-raceable vehicle that we have for the boats class at the moment, and the top 4 you can all use in races. So the big question is, has anything changed at the top? Because yes, we've had the Kasatka, which was interesting to see, the Avisa, which is really slow, the weaponized dinghy and the patrol boat have been added. The rest are kind of all the same, but the Longfin is, one of the newest boats that is actually raceable. Obviously, it was added with the Cayo Perico heist, and you can actually use it in a boat race. So where does it fit? Well, the top 3, previously what the top 3 used to be in the 2018 video of the dinghy, the Jetmax and the Speeder, were all very close in terms of lap time. As we can see here, a 1 minute 34.6 for the dinghy. The Jetmax and the Speeder, I think, then go to 1 minute 33 and 1 minute 32. Obviously, we haven't seen the Longfin yet, so it's either 2nd or 1st place. And it's about where the Longfin will fit within that top 3. Will it get a 1 minute 32 and just to say beat the speeder? Will it be a sort of a high 1 minute 32 and only just be slightly better than the Jetmax? But in general, you're sort of expecting this to be the very limit of what boats can do. And because it always has been ever since, you know, the game first came out, the sort of the dingy 1 minute 30 level of lap time is about the best you're going to get from a boat. So as we see, second place vehicle, you obviously know at this point where the Longfin is. It is the new number one because the speeder has been relegated to second place. It's been at the top of the boats class for a long time, but really you could have used any of the top three in boat races because there is such huge variables when it comes to boat races. And you know, just in general, if you're taking your boats around free roam, any of the top three will be the quickest until now, because as we know, the Longfin is the new number one. The question is, how much of a number one is it? Is it going to be a little bit quicker than the speeder? Is it going to be a lot quicker than the speeder? Well, it turns out it's a lot quicker than the speeder. It's a lot quicker than the speeder. The Longfin is the new number one with a lap time of a scarcely believable for a boat 1 minute 22.5 seconds. At this point, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already for regular lap time and top speed testing videos and updates when new cars are released, and check out other classes in the playlist. But that is an absolutely insane lap time for a boat. Obviously, in comparison to cars, you know, the top supercars get lap times of 1 minute to cover the same sort of distance. Even regular or even slow sedans get lap times that are better than this. But for a boat, 10 seconds per lap quicker than the next best. It's incredible. Now, in general, it gets all of its speed from straight line speed. It's actually a boat that has a decent straight line speed. Keep your eye out for the top speed testing video for this for the boat class for 2020 as well. That'll be coming in a few days, and obviously you can see the top speed playlist down below if you want the link to that, and you can find it within that. But that's where it gets all its speed. So when it comes to getting around the corners, you're essentially reaching every single corner at a much quicker speed than what you would be in any other boat. So the Longfin kind of corners the same way that the speeder does, the Jetmax does. So you've got to kind of readjust yourself and slow down a bit more, and actually maybe use the brakes at some point in the Longfin because it's going just that fast on the straights. It's unbelievable, and you can see from the comparison between the Longfin and the speeder that 10 seconds per lap is huge. And it's crazy that we've got a boat that actually has some decent speed now. You know, it's the first time ever we've really had that. When it comes to boat races, you don't stand a chance if you're using anything other than a Longfin. For you know, if you ever come across a boat race, it's just so much better than anything else. It breaks the class more than any other vehicle has broken a class in the past, and we've had some doozies over the years. We've had some vehicles that have been multiple seconds per lap quicker than previous bests, but nothing quite like this. The Longfin is so much faster than everything else in the class, and it's actually basically finally a fast boat in the game. So that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Keep an eye out, like I said, for the top speed testing video, because that's going to be even more interesting to see how far ahead the Longfin is from everything else. Consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early. And remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.